Okay, so today we will start with lesson 2. We talk about mixed number. For lesson 1, we already talked about fraction. Okay, so fraction is just a over b, like 1 over 2, 3 over 5, 2 over 6, so on and so forth. Okay, so fraction only has two parts, numerator and denominator. Okay, but for lesson 2, when we talk about mixed number, okay, it's a little bit different. It is a fraction, but a little bit different. Okay, so let's start now. Lesson 2, mixed number. Okay, so the way for you to recognize it, whenever you look at a number, a mixed number, and if you see it has a general form like this, okay, general form, something similar to this. Okay, so it is called mixed number. So k a over b, where k a b are whole number. Okay, yeah, so k a b are whole numbers. So what is k, what is a, and what is b? Okay, so the letter k, you must write right at the middle of the line. Okay, so otherwise you cannot write like this. Okay, or you cannot write like this. Okay, then in this case they are fraction. Okay, you will not recognize it as a mixed number. Okay, so what is k? K here is a whole number part. Of course, all of them are whole numbers, but in mixed number it is called whole number part. Okay, and this one called numerator. A is called numerator, b is called denominator, right? So let's take some examples. Okay, so we have 1 2 over 5, we have a 2 3 over 7, or we have 100 1 over 9, so on and so forth. Okay, so long as you see something like this, so it is called mixed numbers. Okay, we have a whole number part and we have a fraction part. Okay, and in fraction part we have a numerator, we have a denominator. Yep. So why we have a mixed number, and what is a relation to fraction? In which case you can write a fraction as a mixed number. Okay, and how to convert from a mixed number to become fraction? So if you have a fraction, let's say okay, so let's divide into cases, then it's easier. Okay, case 1, we have a fraction c over d, for example. Okay, so let's take example like 1 over 2, 2 over 5, blah 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 blah, right, where the numerator c smaller than the denominator d. Okay, in this case we do not have a mixed number. In other words, we cannot write the fraction c over d as a mixed number. Okay, Okay, so case 2, so that's why case 1 we don't need, so we don't have any relation, you know, between fraction and mixed number. So let's go to case 2. So case 2, we have a fraction c over d where c greater than d. Okay, let's take example 3 over 2, 5 over 3, 6 over 5, 11 over 8, 100 over 8, blah blah blah. Okay, so on and so forth. So in this case, we can see the numerator is greater than the denominator. So in this case, we can write the fraction c over d as a mixed number. Okay, and how can we do that? How can we write c over d equal to k a over b? How can we write the fraction c over d as a mixed number k a over b? Okay, how can we do that? And like I said, like I said in the first lessons, fraction is actually a division. The numerator divided by the denominator. Okay, so in order to write a fraction as a mixed number into a mixed number, we must do a division. We take c, the numerator, divide by d, the denominator. Okay, so the step 1, we take c divide by d. Okay, and the step 2, we recognize k is the result of the division. Okay, a is the remainder. Oh, sorry, maybe I changed something. Okay, we will not say k is the result. We say k is the quotient of the division. A is the remainder, and B is the divisor. Okay, so we'll go to example and you can see it better. Okay, let's say we have a fraction 5 over 2. So 5 over 2, you can see in this case 5 is, in this example, 5 is greater than 2, right? It means the numerator is greater than the denominator. So we can write the fraction 5 over 2 as a mixed number. Okay, and we'll follow the step here. Okay, so we'll follow the step 1, take c divided by d. Okay, so 5 divided by 2. Okay, so 2 here is called divisor. Okay, 5 is a dividend, right? Okay, so 5 divided by 2. Okay, so you can see 5 divided by 2. and 5 is not a multiply of 2. Sorry, I should say this above. Okay, so for case 2 here, the fraction c over d, where c is greater than d and c is not a multiply of d. Okay, and it's a better c over d is a both c and d are prime number. Okay, so it means the fraction c over d is the most simplified fraction. Okay, okay, so we come back to the example 5, the fraction 5 over 2. So in this case, the numerator 5 is greater than 2. Okay, and 5 and 2 are both prime number, right? Okay, so it means we can write the fraction 5 over 2 as a mixed number. And how can we do that? We follow the steps I just mentioned above. So 5 divided by 2, okay? 5 is co-dividend and 2 is a co-divisor. Okay, so 5 divided by 2 is 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4. So 5 subtract 4 is 1, okay? So 1 is smaller than 2, so it's correct. The remainder is smaller than divisor, then you can stop. Okay? And 2 here is a co-remainder, right? And 2 here, we call it a quotient. So now we can write the fraction 5 over 2, like I said above. Okay, k is the quotient of the division. Okay, so the quotient of the division in this case is 2. So right here, and a is the remainder. Okay, so the remainder here is 1. So right here, b is the divisor. Okay, so it's like this. So here the divisor here too. So this case is a little bit special. I will take another example, then you can see you are not confused. Otherwise, too many tools. Okay, so that's the way to write a fraction as a mixed number. Okay, so let's take another example. Let's see which one we can take. So let's say 23 over 13. Okay, so in this case 23 greater than 13. The numerator is greater than the denominator. Okay, 23 and 13 are both prime numbers, right? Because they are both prime numbers, so it's okay. 23 greater than 13. So it's, what does it mean? It means so long as they meet both requirements like this, then we can write the fraction 23 over 13 as a mixed number. And we follow the steps above. Okay, so we follow the step above. We take 23 divide by 13. Okay, and again 23 here is called dividend, and 13 here we call is a divisor. Okay, now 23 divided by 13. So what is the quotient here? So it equal to 1, right? It cannot be 2, because if you have a 2, then 13 times 2 equal to 26. So 26 greater than 23. So it cannot be 2. So the quotient must be 1. So 1 times 13 is a 13, right? 1 times whatever number equal to itself. Okay? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 100 is 100. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 13 is 13. Okay? So now we subtract 23 for 13. So the remainder now is 10. Okay? So 10 smaller than the divisor 13. So it is correct. You are doing in a correct direction. Okay? So now 10 here is called remainder. Okay? And this one we call quotient. So now we follow the formula above. Okay? So 23 over 13, we write as a mixed number. So we have this one is a quotient, and this one is a remainder, and this one is a divisor, right? So now we just put what is a quotient, we put here. What is a remainder? 10, we put here. Whatever is divisor, we put here, right? So now 23 over 13, we can write as a mixed number 110 over 13. Okay? So we'll take another example. This example will be a little bit we'll do with okay, let's say we take something a little bit big. Let's say 112 divided by the fraction 112 over 10. Okay, so how can we write this as a mixed number? So we also follow the steps above. Okay, always check if they are already prime numbers, the numerator is greater than the denominator or not. So in this case, the numerator is already greater than the denominator. So yes, it's okay. It meets the first condition. The second condition is are they prime numbers? So it does not look like that, right? It seems not like that, because you can see 112 and with 2. So it can divide by 2 for sure. And 10 and with 0, it also can divide by 2, right? So it means it is not a prime number. Both of them, both 112 and 10 are not prime numbers. Okay, so we must simplify this fraction. And in this case, it falls into case 3 from the lesson 1. Okay, case 3 in lesson 1. So both of them have a common factors, like I just said. Both of them can divide by 2, right? But we'll follow from lesson 1. We do the Chi method. Okay, so I just said that 112 and by 2. Okay, so it means it can divide by 2. 2 is prime number, right? So we do it here. Okay, so 1 cannot divide by 2, so we must take 11. So 11 divided by 2 is 5, right? That's the largest number close. The largest number we can take, such that 5 times 2 equal to 10. It is the closest to 11. So 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, 11 subtract 10 is 1, right? And now we bring down 2 here. So we have a 12 divided by 2 is a 6. Okay, So 6 times 2 is 12. So 12 subtract 12 is 0. So the remainder is 0, right? So it means 112 divided by 2 equal to 56. So it means 112 can be written as a product of prime number 2 and 56. Now you ask yourself, okay, 56 is a prime number or not? Okay, if it is a not prime number, then you must continue. But in this case, actually, we don't need to continue because we look at the denominator 10. Okay, 10 can be written as a product of two prime numbers 2 and 5, right? And because both of them have a 2, right? And 56 ending with 6, so it cannot divide by 5, so that's why we don't need to break down 56 anymore. No need to waste your time, okay? Because this one only have a one number 2, so it means we only need one number 2 from this one. We have a one number 2 from 10, so that's why we only need one number 2 from 112. Okay, we have a one number 5 here, but we cannot break down 56 as a 5 times anything because 56 cannot divide by 5, so that's why we don't need to break down more 56. Okay, so in this case, so 11 2 over 10 can be written as like this, right? And like I said from the lesson 1, because both of them have a number 2, first they are all multiplication. Okay, if you have an addition, you cannot cancel out. It must be multiplication, then you can cancel out. A lot of students just make mistake because they cancel out even, you know, for addition. Not, but we only can do cancellation if it is a multiplication. Okay, for both the top part and the bottom part. Okay, so the top part have a one number 2, the second part have a one number 2, so cancel them. Okay, so now the answer is only 56 over 5. So that's a fraction we need to care about. Okay, so now both of them are prime numbers now, right? Because 56 5 is a prime number and 56 is not prime number, but 56 cannot divide by 5, so we cannot simplify anymore. Yeah, so that's the most simplified fraction we have. So now we just convert this one as a mixed number, and we follow the steps above. Okay, so we take 56 divided by 5. Okay, always the top part divided by the bottom part. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, right? 1 times 5 is 5. So 5 subtract 5 is 0. Now we bring 6 down. Okay, so 6 divided by 5 is 1. Of course, it cannot be 2 because 2 times 5 is 10. It's greater than 6. So we only can take 1. So 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so 6 subtract 5 is 1. Okay, so here is the remainder. Here is the quotient. And here is the divisor. Okay, so now we follow quotient, remainder, divisor. Okay, so just put everything in. 11, remainder 1, divisor 5. So that's the answer. Okay, so we'll stop this lesson here. So for next lesson, we continue talking about mixed number. but we'll find out how to convert backward, like convert from mixed number back to fraction. Okay, so let's stop here. Bye bye for now.